If I told you to close your eyes and picture a woman who's a 9 or a 10, what does that look like? For me, I'd say she has to have a naturally attractive face, but she also has to be a good human being who cares about other people. She has those motherly instincts. She has that pleasant, feminine vibe when you're hanging out with her. Also, she takes an interest in you if you're on a date with her. She's not just very self-centered. She's also optimized her looks even more by staying healthy and fit in the gym. She dresses herself in a way that's feminine and sexy, yet still a bit modest. Now, what percentage of women do you think satisfy all these different criteria? I'd probably say 1 or 2%, because there's some women out there that are attractive, but they don't have these other things in line that would actually make them a 9 or a 10 to date long term. And when I was just describing that ideal woman, if you were nodding along and agreeing with most of the things I said, that's interesting, right? Because that means most men agree that these are the top 2% of women, and most men would like to date these women, which means by definition, they're gonna have their choice of whatever man that they want. So then the question becomes, how do you make it illogical? Well, for women, decisions are a bit logical and a bit emotional. How do you make it an obvious logical and emotional decision for that type of girl to want to date you? Well, in this video, we're gonna get deep about what it takes to make this type of woman not just be interested in you, but be interested in continuing to see you and pursue you. Because, maybe right now you can have a solid conversation with a 9 or a 10, or maybe you're even able to date the 6s and the 7s. But it takes a different type of approach to keep a girl who has a lot of options interested in you. But first, we're gonna go over a quick checklist. These are 5 things that you must have sorted out for people, not just women, but for people to always take you seriously and respect you. The powerful steps in this video will not work effectively until you have these surface level things handled. Number 1, you have a relatively lean, muscular physique. Right now, if you got a little bit of a belly, or when you're wearing clothes, it doesn't look like you lift, you still got work to do. Number 2, you dress like a man, not a boy. That means that your style and your outfits give you a bit of a premium, masculine, successful vibe all on their own. Number 3, social prowess. You're able to look anyone in the eye and speak to them with conviction. And even if you're talking to a really hot girl, you're able to stay calm. Number 4, you're driven. You don't just have goals, but you're actively already working towards them. And number 5, you take the lead. When you see a girl you like, you just ask her out and schedule the dates. You don't wait for the right time or get lost texting her. Now, before we dive into the steps, I hear from a lot of guys that they have trouble knowing how to style themselves exactly and dress like a man. That being said, the new Edge lifestyle collection that just dropped will help you get this fixed right now. The brand new casual chinos are the perfect pants for a night out. These have that high-end, old money vibe, but honestly, it feels like you're wearing sweatpants. That's because the fabric that just looks and feels super high-end, it's also loaded with stretch. Now, to help you level up your everyday outfits, the brand new Luxe joggers have you covered. The performance Luxe fabric on these is super ventilated, so your balls never get sweaty and stuck to your leg. They also have that classic fit, not skin tight, not baggy. They're available with or without the tech cargo pocket on the side. They're just perfect for hitting the gym and then running errands around town after. And we've also restocked our basic tee. It's got a clean fit. It's built from a super premium, comfortable cotton fabric, and it's perfect for wearing alone or layering underneath a jacket or blazer. And because you're watching my video, I'm gonna hook you up with a coupon code that's gonna get you 10% off your entire order. Don't hesitate though, the joggers and the chinos are both limited releases, and they're probably gonna sell out quick. Just click that first link in the description or go to edgelifestyle.com to level up your style today. Step number 1, no special treatment. So what happens a lot of times when you meet an exceptionally attractive girl, and this is probably the top reason that they lose interest in you, is you start to give her a little bit of special treatment because she seems unique and special. So maybe you feel the need to take her out to a really high-end premium restaurant on the first date to impress her. Or maybe I feel a little bit hesitant to tease her because I don't want to offend her and then break the comfort we have between us. Or I'm not sure if I want to escalate on her physically because maybe that'll be too much too fast and that'll turn her off. So I'm gonna take it slow with her. What took me a long time to realize, and I lost out on a lot of beautiful women because of this, is that when we make these little micro adjustments, that's what creates the vibe that we're putting the girl on a pedestal. And girls like this, that's what they're used to guys doing to them. The good news is that it's pretty simple to fix this. It's not easy, but it's simple. All you have to do is treat the 9s and the 10s the same as you treat the 6s and the 7s. I'm not gonna send her a bunch of texts so she gets to know me better. After 2 or 3 messages, I'm gonna ask, so are you free Wednesday or Thursday night to hang out? I'm gonna choose a bar or cafe that's near my place so it's convenient for me. I'm not gonna go out of my way to try and accommodate her. And if she flakes or makes an excuse about why she's busy, I'm not gonna pursue her. I'm just gonna send her a message that says, no worries, let me know when you're free then, and leave it up to her. Number 2, do not fantasize. So you know that feeling when you meet a girl that's just your type? You come back to your place, maybe you're sitting on the sofa like this, looking up at the ceiling. You close your eyes and you start to picture her smiling at you from across the table. Maybe you're coming home to her after 3 months of dating. She's smiling, she's cooked me some cookies. Man, she's just my type of girl. She's beautiful. And we could have this beautiful future together too. It's a nice thought and it's romantic. But next time you catch yourself doing this, I want you to take your hand, I want you to go like this, and I want you to slap your face. Kind of hard like that. The golden rule of managing the relationship at the early stages is that you must invest at the same rate that the girl is investing in you. If she's starting to text you a bit more, all right, well, you can indulge on that a little bit. If she's starting to ask you when you're free to hang out, all right, well, maybe you can start seeing her 2 times per week instead of 1 time per week. But you got to keep it real with yourself. Modern dating is a game of numbers. And most girls that you meet, they're not going to become your next girlfriend. Like if I was to go out and start a conversation with 10 women, probably 5 of those conversations would go well. Maybe I'd get the phone number of 3 of those girls and I'd go on a date with 1 of them. But the chance of getting a second date with that girl, it's still quite low, regardless of how high value of a man that I am. Maybe you guys don't vibe. Maybe you don't like her. Maybe she is still hooking up with their ex. Remember the golden rule and remember to use your hand when necessary. Number 3, qualify her. So I remember my final year of university when I started going to a lot of job interviews, and I'd get my suit on. Didn't fit me that well, but I'd get my suit on, show up, have a little, energy drink before, so I was hyped. And I'd go in there with this mindset of like, I hope they pick me. I hope I answer all their questions right and hope they pick me. What do you think happened? I didn't get a fucking job for a minute, bro. I didn't get too many people calling me back. I was simping. I was simping for the bosses and the managers of these jobs. Later on in life, I learned a helpful mindset that whenever you're interviewing for a job or maybe even talking to a potential business partner, the mindset to have is, okay, what could go wrong? What are the reasons this might not work out for me? If you're interviewing for jobs right now, that's a good thing to keep in mind so you don't show up seeming needy and instead you're kind of questioning them to make sure it's the right fit for you. That makes you seem like a much more ideal candidate who has options. Well, guess what? It's the same shit with women, bro. When you show up on a date, you shouldn't have this, oh, I hope she picks me and I hope I get lucky and get a second date with this girl. If that's the voice in your head, bro, it's over. The mindset should be, yeah, she's hot. There's a lot of hot girls out there though. What makes her different? Do we vibe together? Is she the type of girl that I'd want to date long term? Or perhaps, is there a reason that I shouldn't even consider going on a second date with her? The point's not to be there like vetting them for red flags with a little checklist like, oh, she says she doesn't talk to her father that much. There's not going to be a second date. The point is just, as you're showing up to the venue, to remind yourself, all right, she's hot, but let's see what else there is. And just keep that in the back of your head so you can sit back and kind of be qualifying her. Get her a little uncomfortable. Number 4, own your mistakes. There's a funny social dynamic between humans. When someone does something that could be viewed as socially embarrassing, we don't even judge them based on that. We judge them based on how they react afterwards. If you watch stand-up comedy, you see this a lot where a comedian will tell a joke and it doesn't hit. And sometimes if they're a newer comedian, you can see their face get red and then they get more nervous and the set gets worse and worse and worse. But a skilled comedian, he tells the joke that doesn't hit and then he's like, nah, fuck you guys. You guys don't got any sense of humor or something like that, right? He owns the mistake. He doesn't get embarrassed by it. The fact is that we're all gonna do embarrassing things with women. We're not gonna be perfect. We're gonna say some dumb shit or do some dumb shit. Maybe you finish really quickly in bed. Well, how do you react afterwards? Oh, I'm so sorry. I promise that never happens. Oh man. Versus you could say, damn, that was fun. You had me turned on. Let's go again in a minute. Number 5, accept that you're going to lose her. So y'all know I got Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor and philosopher, tattooed on my arm right here. Well, one of the key mindset techniques that they teach is visualizing losing things that we have. For example, I could visualize that a hurricane. We're in Texas. We ain't gonna get a hurricane. A tornado. I don't even think we get tornadoes, but a tornado comes through here and destroys the house. And my insurance, they can't cover all of it, and we're down a couple $1 million. And you might be thinking, damn, why would you think about that? That's really like depressing. It might just make you anxious. But the point is, it forces us to actually remember to value the things that we have, the relationships that we have, the health that we have, the material items that we have. Because if we don't think like this and don't realize that anything could be taken from us at any time, we start to take things for granted, and then life gets a little bit less satisfying. Well, what I realize is that it's also extremely powerful to do this whenever I meet a girl that I'm really excited about. I already will accept, well, it's probably not going to work out with her, so let's not get our hopes up. And on one hand, if it doesn't work out with her, well, I'm not going to be so miserable about it because I'm kind of already, expecting it. But the real value comes that it takes the pressure off of us to perform perfectly and to make sure that she picks me, right? Because now I'm going to show up to the date like, hey, man, it's probably not going to work anyway. So I got nothing to lose, right? Fuck it. And that carefree type of attitude is something that the 9s and the 10s are not used to experiencing, because most guys are showing up with the pick me mindset. It's human nature, bro. We understand that they're a valuable commodity and that we got one shot. We don't want to miss our opportunity. So next time you meet a 9 or a 10 and you get her contact, remind yourself it's already over. It's not going to work out. And that's really the key of all of these steps. When you meet a very attractive girl, the game you're playing is now not to self-destruct and to start simping and pedestalizing her. And if you stick to these 5 rules, it's going to be easy. She's going to be not used to that type of treatment, and that's what's going to hook her. Now, of course, these steps are meant to get your foot in the door and to keep her attracted for those first few months of dating, but it's important that you also operate like a man after that, which is why you need to watch this video next. That is 10 years of brutally honest relationship advice for men. I've been in several failed relationships, and now I've been with my wife for almost 10 years. And these are the biggest lessons that I learned. So click there to watch that now. If you're new to the channel, click down there because I release 2 new videos every single week and you don't want to miss them. I'll talk to you in the next video. Stay beastly.